Let's check your fourth homework. Uh, First, we can remember it in the homework. This top view and front view with its dimensions in millimeters were given to us, and we were asked to draw the left side view. Also, in the second part, we were supposed to draw the isometric projection of this object. Of course, you need to do the solution right and be careful about the quality of your drawing, lettering, and coloring as usual. In order to do this, first we need to discover the object, try to understand, figure out how this object looks like in its 3D form, in its original form, by using just only the top view and the front view. And there are some clues here, like these gaps all over the drawing. So if you are careful enough, we can understand the object easily. Let's do it together. Let's check how we can solve this. Normally, you know, in our normal drawing process, we start with the top view and then we do the front view. And we can either do the left side or right side view. If you are dealing with the left side, we need to transfer levels to this part of our paper and have intervals and width carried like this, and the view, the left side view, will appear. If we were asked to draw the right side view, then we can do this transferring towards this left part of the drawing, and the same will happen. Now imagine yourself, you are standing here and looking at this object like that. There is this line in front of you. It appears to be a line, or is it a line? How can we understand? I just transferred this distance here, up here, and there again, there is another line here. Is it just a line? I need to think about it, or is it, could it be a plane? How can I understand? Let's say that, let's check this types of these planes and let's try to understand if it is a plane. Let's say that it is a profile plane, then in its front view, I will see a line. In its top view, I will see another line. However, in its left side view, I will be looking at the plane itself. So probably this is a profile plane. So this is what I need to do. I need to transfer the levels first, and then I can transfer the start point, the end point, this front end point of the line, and then transfer the other endpoint of the line, and right in front of me, there appears a rectangle. So this is probably the left side view of this surface here. Let's keep it like this and move on. And in the front view, there is this inclined line. Again, I don't know if it is just a line or a surface or what kind of a surface it is. So I need to transfer its endpoints down to the top view, and there appears a surface, a rectangular surface in front of me. So I need to check what kind of a plane is this. When we check this list, we can see that it's a frontal projecting plane. When we look this object from this standpoint, we will be noticing its front edge is projected as a line to the vertical projection plane. And in the top view, we notice it as a rectangle. However, it's because of this inclined position, it appears a little bit smaller. So this is probably a frontal projecting plane. This is what I need to do to figure out its left side view. I need to transfer the levels here. This is already there. So I can transfer its starting and end points there. And here, as you can see, we are looking at another rectangle, and probably it is shorter than its original size because of its position. And we can check this, control this, if it is true or not, by using this gap here. There was a gap in the original drawing, and because of this interval difference, it's true. Then this is how it is supposed to be because of this difference here. So this surface is okay too, so we can move on. And here I see another line, and I need to transfer it to the front view to understand where this line is positioned, or if it is a plane, what kind of a plane it is. And I noticed two gaps here. So I need to understand the level of this line. Is it this one here, this line here, or this one here? Because of these gaps, I can say that it is the higher one. Because these gaps are left to indicate that there is a level difference. So this must be the higher one, and this front part should be the lower one. So this line appears as a point in the front view because it's a horizontal projecting line. In the front view, I see it as a point. In the top view, I see it as a line. So this is that, and I need to transfer it, the level from the front view and the distance from the top view, so I can get its left side view here. And because of the difference here, the distance difference here, I need to leave a little gap to indicate that difference there. And now I can move on to this line here, since it is closer to the frontal surface, and because of these gaps, that should be that point here, that line. It's another horizontal projecting line at a lower level. So I need to transfer the level here and the distance here so that I will get that line there. So in the front view, there is another line with a gap that connects these two points, and I can say that it's a frontal projecting line because of its position. In the front view, that appears as a line. However, in the top view, it appears as a point here. So I can transfer it, and I will see that this is a frontal projecting line that combines these two horizontal projecting lines together. And there is another one here at the lower level. It again appears as a point in the top view. So when I transfer it, I can draw its left side view. However, since this red surface, this one here, is closer to this person, and this yellow line, the yellow frontal projecting line, is at the back, and there is there is a distance difference between them. I need to leave a little gap again to indicate that difference. And now I can say that I am looking at a surface here at this distance, which can be a profile plane. And those lines were the sides, the edges of that plane. And in the left side view, I will see the plane itself. However, because of that, again, the distance difference between this red surface, this blue surface, and that yellow surface, I need to leave these gaps when I'm coloring as well. So this is the object itself. If I do the transfers correctly, I will be able to find out the left side view like this. And in the second part of your homework, you were supposed to do the isometric projection, and you need that top view. You need to create that top view with gray and thin lines by using 30-degree angles and by using their true sizes. And since this is just a guidance for you, you don't need to leave the gaps or do anything else, just very thin and gray lines positioned like this. This is the first step of your second homework. After that, you need heights in the second step. So let's start with the height of this surface here. I just use the true size and then I can do the height of this inclined surface there. Here I can get the total height from this front, the left side view or the front view here. And there is this L-shaped surface that's a horizontal plane, as you can understand. I put the heights for that surface. This is the last one. That lower surface, its height, I can take it from the frontal view and put it here. In the third part, I need to find out which edges I can see when I stand at this corner and look through here at this direction. These are the edges that I can see. I can keep going, and at the end, the back corner here is the only three edge that I cannot see. However, I need to indicate with dashed lines. And this is the end of our second homework. After that, you can do the coloring. I will show you the difference between the isometric view, the military projection. This is the trimetric projection and the cabinet projection. As you can see, the angles and the sizes differ between that. So let's check if we did it correctly, if it is the actual 3D form of this object. And in order to do that, we can try to match different surfaces in this isometric projection and multi-view projection here. Let's check this one here, where we can find it. That's an horizontal plane in that level. And imagine that you are standing there and looking down. In the top view, you will be seeing this surface that is closest to you in here. So this red surface, they are the same. And when you stand in front of the object and look towards the vertical projection plane, you won't be able to recognize it as a horizontal plane. You will be seeing it's this edge here is a profile projecting line, and there appears here in the frontal view, and you will see that other edge at the back here. And since there is this interval difference, we get that tiny little gap to indicate the viewers that there is a difference. And in the left side view, again, the same thing happens. We cannot recognize it as a horizontal plane. We will just see this edge here as a horizontal projecting line, and it appears here, another edge at the back. And since there is this distance difference between these two lines, we need to leave that little tiny gap. And let's move on to another surface. Here, it's again another horizontal plane at a different level, at a lower level, and this person is looking down, and it appears here. And since there is this level difference, I need to leave this gap here, both with my drawing and my coloring. And when I move to the front part and look at this horizontal plane, I will see it as a profile projecting line. Just this line here, I will just see the frontal line that appears here. And because there is this interval difference, I need to leave these gaps. And on the left side view of this plane, I will notice that line there. And this is the third surface that I can see. It's again a horizontal plane. When I look at this direction, that appears there. And because of this level difference, I need to leave all these gaps with the drawing and the coloring. And when I move to that spot here, I will I will see its front edge as another profile projecting line that appears here. And on the left side, again, I will see it as a horizontal projecting line that appears there. And since there is no difference, no distance difference between these two lines here, I shouldn't leave a gap. They are at the same distance. There is no difference between these two lines, this black line and this orange line here. They are at the same distance, so I shouldn't leave any gaps. However, because of this difference between this orange line and this vertical line at the back, I need to leave that gap. And let's move on. We have a frontal projecting plane positioned like this. If I'm looking down, I will be looking at this surface here. And in the front, I will notice its edge as a frontal line there. And because there is this interval difference, I need to leave the gap. However, because this orange line is combining with this black line at the same level, and there is no level difference, I shouldn't, sorry, there is no interval difference, I shouldn't leave a gap. And this goes same with the intersection of this line here and this line here, this corner. That corner is the same corner, the same intersection without any level difference or interval difference. So no gaps at the front view, no gaps at the top view. However, because there is this difference, the interval difference between these two lines, these two black lines, I left the gap. So this is different. If there is interval, level, or distance difference between two lines or two surfaces, I am indicating it by using a gap. If there is this inclined surface and it starts at the same level with the red surface, this orange surface and red surface, they are intersecting at the same level, there is no level difference, I shouldn't leave any gaps, as you can see here. So in the left side view, it appears as another surface, as a rectangular surface there. And because there is this distance difference, I leave the gap. However, because this surface is combining at the same distance with this orange surface, I shouldn't leave any gaps. That is the difference. Just imagine that this difference in your mind's eye. So you should recognize, you should consider leaving a gap to indicate that difference. And because there is no distance difference, they are meeting at the same corner here, I should leave no gaps at that point. Let's move on. Here, this is a frontal plane, as you can understand. And when I'm standing at this position, I will be looking at this surface here. However, in the top view, this surface, I cannot see it as a surface. I will recognize its top edge here as a profile projecting line, and it appears here. And another line, another edge of this L-shaped surface at a lower level. And since there is this interval level difference between these two lines, I should leave that gap. And I need to move to the left side to see how it looks like in this position. I, again, cannot recognize it's a plane. I will just look. I will just see its edges here. This one here, this edge here, it appears at this point, and another edge at the back. And because there is this difference, I should leave the gap. And there's another vertical surface, another frontal plane. If I'm standing at this position, I will be looking at this surface here. Because of the interval difference, I am leaving the gap. In the top view, I will just see its edge, the upper edge, as a profile projecting plane here at this position. Again, because of that level difference, I need to leave the gap. And on the left side view, I will see it as a frontal projecting line there. And since there is no difference, no gaps, just normal intersection there. These are very important because in near future, in the upcoming weeks, we will be dealing with actual buildings, and you will see that you need these information to indicate these connections. Just imagine yourself, you are looking at this building and you need to do that frontal view projection. This is how you should do it. You need to transfer all these information, all these skills you get by doing these exercises to actual buildings. So you need to do a rectangular surface here. However, when you are combining this surface here at the back, you should leave a gap to indicate that there is an interval difference between these surfaces. And this goes same for that connection as well. Again, a difference. Again, a difference. All these surfaces, so that people can understand it in a better way, because they will be looking at the 2D projection that you created, and they need to understand how it looks like in its original form. So let's move on. That was another frontal plane here that appears as the light green surface. Because of these interval differences, I leave all these gaps. I can see this surface as a profile projecting plane in the top view, and this surface here is a frontal line here. And since there is no difference of levels between these two lines, they are combining, they are connecting at the same level, I should leave no gaps at their intersection there. And again, there is no gaps, no need to leave gaps at these points. Again, please notice that I leave the gap for the coloring. However, I leave no gap for the drawing connection. They are connecting at the same level. However, there is this difference between the colored surface and the line. So gap for the coloring, no gap for the drawing. That's how it's supposed to be. And when I change my position and look at the surface here, I will notice that frontal line here, and because of the position, I should leave no gap there and leave a gap to indicate there is a distance difference. Here, when I stand on the left side, I will be looking at this blue surface, L-shaped surface that appears there. And because of that distance difference, I should leave all these gaps. And if I'm standing there, I will notice the edge appearing here and another edge appearing there. And because of that level difference, there should be a gap. And when I stand in front of the object, I will be looking at its edge as a frontal projecting line that appears here and another line at the back. And because of that interval difference, I should leave the gap. And at the end, there is just one surface left, this light blue surface. So in the left side view, I will be looking at this surface here. In the top view, it appears as a line, as a horizontal projecting line. And in its frontal view, I will be looking at a frontal projecting line appears at here, at this location. So this is something that I do to check if I did the right thing during my drawing, and to understand the gaps and no gaps in a better way.